All right, we are live. Wait for some folks to show up. 0 people showing up. So we are in La Sierra de Santa Cruz Rainforest in Guatemala. I'm at the top of a tree here, mostly at the top. And the backdrop of me here is the rest of the forest preserve. Not the rest of it, but it goes up that mountain and then over on the other side as well. In front of me is the agricultural land. That's a palm plantation down there, and then we've got a bunch of cleared hillsides. There's a lot of ag going on here, but we are in a pretty dense rainforest preserve. Let's see, any questions we got going on here? I'm up here teaching some students how to ascend, or I have been teaching them how to ascend in the rainforest. They've taken 4 trips out here. This is the 4th one. I was on the first one, and I'm on this one, and helping them get their research done. They're doing research on insects, activity of insects at different levels in the canopy, so they set traps at different levels. A lot happens. We're obviously at the highest level, but down through the canopy, there's different things that go on, and you can get a lot of different activity at those different strata within the canopy. So just to give you a good view for those of you watching. There's the 360. We got a nice day right now. It was, oh, somebody's talking, Rob Simmons. Yeah, last year's sunset live stream was sublime. Yeah, little different. I'm a little farther up the hill this time, Rob. And you just got lucky with this day. Yeah, I didn't announce it very well on YouTube. But yeah, here I was in a tree. Where was I? Yeah, way down there. So we moved farther up the hill, and we got a little bit better view up here. So it's pretty fancy. Any other questions going on here? Oh, somebody in North Texas. Raining here in North Texas. Yeah, it was raining here this morning, quite vigorously. I got wet. I was up in this tree exactly and got wet. I'm glad the sun's come out now. I want to teach the students how to jump from branch to branch, and we've got a setup in this tree. I've got multiple ropes set up, but they can jump from this branch over here to one over here and back and forth. It's kind of nice when you're acclimating to jumping between branches. Just have a nice arc that you can run and jump back and forth and kind of get your feet under you, so to speak. So just kind of a simple little exercise I'm going to show them. And these branches are drying off nicely now. They were very slick this morning. Roundhouse Ranch Barbecue. How about that? I'm I'm on a ketogenic diet. So do you have any like sugar-free barbecue sauce? Do you make some nice, you know, slow roasted brisket without a lot of sugar in it? That'd be my go-to. A beautiful day here in Winder, Georgia. We love watching your videos, Kevin. Stay safe. Well, thank you. Thank you. Um, yeah, we try to post every Sunday, you know, a long video. And we've done that successfully, I think, for 3 years now. So, I mean, a video a week. That takes a little bit of effort. And then shorts. We did 3 months of shorts with like twice a day. That was crazy. Now we're doing one a day roughly on the shorts, and then once a week on the long videos. So thanks for watching. All I season my brisket with is salt and pepper and garlic. My kind of guy. That's it. I'd love your brisket, like a good pound of it. In fact, the last time I came back from Guatemala in the airport, I might pull this off again. I ordered a pound of brisket at there was a barbecue place in where was I? Dallas Airport. Maybe you know what establishment does brisket in the Dallas airport, but I ordered a pound of it, and that was satiating. So yeah, I would love your brisket. Okay, my real job is I own a very small tree company. Okay, here in Texas. Oh, let me get back there. I'm having trouble reading the screen. Tree climber for 4 years. Plan on taking the IS exam next year. Great, awesome, glad to hear that. You know, early on, I mean, when I was getting going, the certification plan, you know, program was just starting. You know, so I was one of the first certified arborists in 94? Was that right? No, 1996. Anyways, in 1996, I took my test. And then in 2004 was the first year of the board certified master arborist test. And I took that in 2004 and passed it on the first shot. So I was really grateful for that. You folks are crazy bunch of men up in the trees. Takes guts and heaps of experience to do this job safe. Yeah, it does take that. That's for sure. You know, I'll give you guys a view here. You don't need to just look at me. I'm up in a rainforest here. Look at the view up the mountain. That's beautiful. So, yeah, so I'm in Sierra de Santa Cruz in Guatemala. It's down towards the Caribbean near Rio Dulce. And it's a forest reserve that is privately owned, but it's under the direction of the Fundeco here in Guatemala. And I'm teaching young biology students how to access the rainforest canopy. So today it's our last day out in the field. I've kind of set up a tree with 4 access lines, and we'll get them jumping between branches. You know, a lot of times research, it's straight up and down. You know, you're just next to the trunk. You're not doing much moving around. And a lot of these forest trees are mostly straight, you know, until you get way up here. I'm probably at, you know, above 100 feet right now. And so you don't necessarily have to move around a lot, but you know, there is some limb walking that you have to do, and being able to jump from one limb to another is a acquired skill, you know. And so we're going to show them a little bit of that today. So we got just a few people watching today. This will probably post later. But I did an Instagram live. I've got a pretty active following on Instagram, and we had a bunch of people watching that yesterday. Any other questions you guys want to ask? Give you another shot of the rainforest here. That's a beautiful shot up the mountain. That's gorgeous, says somebody. Yeah, it's beautiful up here. I haven't had to see a single snake yet either. So that's good. I'm not looking forward. We did the last time I was out here, one of the students saw a snake in the tree. But I haven't seen any snakes up here yet. So yeah, out here is the agricultural land. So we're on the edge. And the reason we're kind of on the edge is that you know, some unsavory things can occur in open spaces in Guatemala, and you have to be concerned about security. So this is a private farm out here with these, you can see these palms down here. They make your canola oil, and we're right on the edge. So we walk into the forest. It's actually, I mean, it looks deceiving, but we're about a solid half-mile up the hill into the forest. So the undergrowth looks pretty lush. But we're in a pretty secure area here, being by the private farm. There's other areas where, you know, things can happen. So James Morrison checking in. Glad to see you got it. James responds to a number of videos. Glad to see you here, James. He says getting high again. Yeah, I'm getting high again. I'm pretty high. I got a guy coming up. There's Andres. So he just ascended, and you can see the different levels of the canopy. It's kind of cool as you're coming up. You know, you gotta stop and rest or whatever, but you'd stop anyways because there's just cool things to look at every level of the canopy. So Roundhouse Ranch says, barbecue says, thank you for your videos. You and August and Jacob Rogers inspired me to start tree climbing. Oh, awesome. That's good. Yeah, I'm good friends with Jacob and well acquainted with August. We interact back and forth. Yeah, you're terrified of heights. Well, let me tell you, action cures fear. And I've instructed more than one person that had a fear of heights, and that's awesome that you worked through that. And you know, you just might be a little safer than person that might not be afraid. There's a level of fear and respect. I'll say that there's a level of respect you got to have for the height. You know, fear, outright fear can lead to trouble. I've seen guys get into trouble when they got afraid. So action, well, let's see, what do they call courage? Courage is action in the face of fear. So you're able to set the fear down and still take action. Now I'm casually sitting on a limb at 100 feet. And I don't even feel like I'm anywhere but where I'm supposed to be. But, you know, that's an acquired taste, I guess. But yeah, so there, a little healthy fear is good. You know, like yesterday, here's a story I can tell. Yesterday, I was ascending this tree, and I I had set my line. Where did I set my line? It was down there. It's about a 4-inch limb, and it was 2 feet out. You can see a line where my rope was. It was not in an ideal place, but I couldn't even really see it from the ground. But I'm bouncing on it. I think, yeah, I can kind of see this branch. It looks like a pretty big branch. And then I ascend and I get to about 80 feet and I'm able to stand on this small, understory tree. It's kind of swaying back and forth. It's real tall and flimsy. And I'm looking up there. I'm like, that's not a very big branch. And I'm kind of out, I'm not near the union. It's out on there a little bit. And, I'm waiting it. And the whole way up, it had friction over another branch in a different tree. And so I kind of had some extra friction in the system. And now I was going to clear that friction. I'm like, I'm not going to climb on that thing. Now with just a basal anchor, and if you know anything, that puts double the weight on the branch. So I just removed some friction. I got uncomfortable. I'm like, I'm not going to climb the rest of the way on this, even though I've climbed 80 feet. I'm not going to do it. So I climbed up. I had to flip my lanyard over to another small tree that was leaning against this tree, and worked my way over hand climbing, with my lanyard, and got up into this tree. And it took 20 minutes of effort, of doing different techniques to get up into this tree. But when I finally got out there to see that rope, I was very glad that I'd taken that extra effort, and so even though I'm very comfortable, it's like you're not gonna test fate, I mean, I guess I kind of did. I climbed 80 feet, and it wasn't that great of a thing, but anyhow, so that's my little story from yesterday. So let me give you another view. That's the palm plantation out there, and there's some forest on the hills across the way. And then up the hill is really beautiful. Sun's trying to come out, but I'm kind of glad for the clouds. Coming from Wisconsin, I don't have as direct sunlight as it is here. It's pretty hot and beastly when the sun's out directly. I think I've answered everybody's questions. So anyways, this will post later, but I'll give you a view down below here. You can hear the other guys talking. So James Morrison gives his story here. Been doing trees since '82. Well, that's longer than me. My son does the climbing now. Yeah, my son's climbing with me now too. But I know all the action, the feeling, the knowledge. But I'm learning still more every day. Yeah, we never stop learning. Thanks, Kevin. Have a safe rest of your day. Got to run. Yeah, all right, Rob. Yeah, James, we never stop learning, do we? I've just been investigating more of the wood decay fungi and kind of getting into that and learning that aspect. I ran into a bunch of it this year. Oh, wow. Where am I climbing at? Andrew Pepin asks. I am climbing at Sierra de Santa Cruz in Guatemala. It's a forest preserve, and there's a view up the mountain. It's pretty beautiful. And I am teaching students how to ascend into the rainforest canopy. So they're actually on their 4th field trip. Here we got another guy. I just started my tree company last year and I rent all my equipment, but it's super annoying. And I want to own my own. What should I get first when starting out? Oh, that's a great question. Because I didn't do this all right. So I know a little bit how not to do it. But your most practical piece of equipment is a loader of some kind. You know, articulating loader, like we've got Avant has them. We've got the Intrepid articulating loader. Those are real handy. The mini loaders, you know, of course, by, you know, Vermeer, any number of little mini track loaders. The articulating ones are the softest on the lawns, you know. But a loader and a dumping trailer, you know, if you've got a truck, if you got a pickup, a loader and a dumping trailer would be your most practical first addition. And then you can get a lot of stuff done the good old-fashioned way. And so Mr. Pepin says, oh, I'm jealous. Yeah. Yeah, that oak tree I showed you needs to come down. Yeah, it probably does. We're gonna airspace that out. The clients really want to save it. You know, I kind of let them make the decision, and we might airspace it and kind of see if there's anything major going on there or if they got some time. And somebody else says, I was gonna say a loader, then a dump trailer, then a bucket, then a chipper. Yeah, Roundhouse has it right. That's probably the good rounding out the list. He did a good job of that. So yeah, get the bucket truck and then get a chipper to go get a forestry body bucket truck, and then add a chipper onto the back of that. So now, if you're a really skilled climber, skip the bucket truck and get a chipper and a truck. Yeah, you would have thought a chipper first. Well, you know, it all depends. You know, the chipper needs a chip truck, you know, and so the chipper isn't just a chipper. The loader and the dumping trailer, you know, if you've got a place you can dump brush, you know, that'll make a big difference too. If you don't have a place you can dump like raw brush, then maybe the chipper, you know, in my area, chipper is, back when I was starting, I had a place to dump raw brush, but now I don't really. But at any rate, the loader gets the most work done. I mean, moving material. And then, you know, you kind of play your jobs that how they fit you. You know, you find people, oh, well, I can move all this with my loader over here into a neat pile and you can take care of it later. You know, I can get all the dangerous stuff done. And, you know, that works out well. You just play to what your needs are. And if taking it away is a hassle, do the service to leave it there. But with the loader, you can leave it kind of neat and you can move the wood to where they want the wood. And you can provide a lot of service with that loader. You know, so there'll be plenty of clients that you'll meet there. Now, me, at my stage, I'm not looking for that client. It's like, I got the chipper. I already have the expense. I want to put that chipper to work. You know, so I want to utilize all my equipment. So I try to sell the whole job. But you know, there's some of my young competitors that are starting out. They're they're taking the ones that do part of the job. Yeah, the loader will save your back as well. Yes, it will. Uh, Coming from a guy with L4, L5 back surgery many years ago. First 10 years, all I had was a truck, trailer, ropes, chainsaw. But I was not smart enough to know equipment helps a lot. Yeah, well, that's good. Good sharing there, James. Um, yeah, I worked my butt off really hard early on as well. I remember rolling rounds out of the backyard. I didn't even have a dolly. Good thing a lot of trees are round, you know. Um, Oops. So yeah, that's a good question. There'll probably be people that there'll be some good information in this feed. Yeah. So Andrew Pepin says uh, sell down by saying you're leaving it for soil decomposition. So yeah, tell them you're leaving it for or what I do is make habitat piles. Oh, we can make some habitat piles here for you. They don't need it. I've got 4 lines that they can climb. Yeah, they were asking me if they need another rope up here, but we had a 300-foot rope and I tied both ends up here with a canopy anchor. So one of our ropes is acting as 2 climbing lines. This is about a 120-foot tree, give or take. I'm at about 100 feet. And we had 300-foot ropes. So we can get both ends on the ground. Both ends in the tree and the loop is on the ground. So here's a question. Hey Kev, how much do you make out of the wood for the job? I know guys who make a nice chunk of money from the wood. Yeah, we sell what logs we can, and we, you know, when we get a nice walnut log or something, or even, you know, white oak is a nice value wood, or cherry. So we'll anything millable we save, but we don't sell firewood. We burn a lot of firewood, and now I'm beginning some biochar production. So our pine, which usually doesn't have a market whatsoever, we just chip it. The pine makes good biochar. So we're in the process of fabricating a large kiln where we can make pretty good batches of biochar out of chips. So we're going to use pine for that. So it's tough here. It says, what is this, Conlin? Here in North Carolina, because putting a little information in the comment feed, that'll be helpful for people that come along later. All right, this Game of Trees will give you one more view of the mountain. There we go. It's Game of Trees. We're having fun. Like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.